Hello and welcome ProBike Shop community. Today I am going to show you one very intense special key session in our training plan. It's the 3 sets 10 times 40-20. What does it mean? I'm gonna show you and today we're gonna experience together. Okay guys, for your HIIT training session I would recommend you're trying to search for a hill like you see behind me. It doesn't matter if it's very steep or not that steep, a moderate gradient is okay, but it's very easy, it's more easier for you doing the intervals on the hill. And one important thing, keep in mind to consume enough carbohydrates, like I told you in the last episode and also in the instruction of your training plan. So keep in mind to at least take into the system like 60 or 90 grams per hour of carbohydrate to stay in your interval zones. Alright guys, if you want to prepare yourself for your high intensity training session, there are a few things to keep in mind. You need to imagine that the energy required for a 40-second interval comes entirely, so 100% from the utilization of carbohydrates. If you're going for 400 watts, every single watt comes from burning a high amount of carbohydrates. Another crucial point you should consider is ensuring you adequately warm up during the training session. The goal of the warm-up is to get your muscle well perfused beforehand. A few small sprints will help your body reach perfect muscle temperature and kickstart the initial processes of lactate buildup and lactate clearance in your legs. If you guys skip your warm-up, your body might struggle a bit with lactate kinetics during the first of 3 sets and this potentially causing you to reduce your power output and therefore your training adaptation. So in our Biking Man Science training plan, you'll see a small ramp up with progressive intensity increase to help with lactate clearance, especially in the first set. Besides the small ramp up, you can also optionally add a few short acceleration if you feel they could maybe better prepare you for your first intervals. By the way, these sprints don't need to last longer than a maximum of 6 or 8 seconds. So your warm up is done, perfect. Take a quick sip from your bottle and then dive into the first intervals. Let's start with the main part. 10 repetitions of 40 seconds at your VO2 max intensity. No worries, you get the exact range from our training plan guidelines. Immediately followed by 20 seconds of very easy riding. After those 20 seconds, jump right back into the next interval. Repeat this for 10 efforts and you finished your first set. Great job, you finished your training. But what exactly are we training with these intervals? Let me explain it to you. For better understanding, I've brought along this graph. The yellow bars represent the 30 seconds on and 20 seconds off intervals. So let's zoom into a single set. As I mentioned in previous videos before, we want to boost your VO2 max system through systematic high interval training sessions. And to boost your VO2 max, you achieve this by pushing your body's oxygen transport systems during the intense 40 seconds efforts. If you do it right, you'll notice your heart rate is increasing, you start gasping for air, and your body feels heavily exhausted. During the 20 seconds rest interval, we give your legs a slightly pause. You can clear some lactate now and relieve muscle tension. However, since you only get half rest, 20 seconds, your oxygen system don't fully fall down to rest level, but only partially for a few percentage, as the next 40 seconds intensity starts right away. When we perform this interval pattern with 10 repetitions, we progressively increase your oxygen uptake with each interval. In theory, your current oxygen uptake multiplies by each interval. There is insight from sports science studies that an improvement in VO2 max can be achieved when you exceed at least 90% of your maximum oxygen uptake for a certain time during your high-intensity training session and sustain it. For better understanding, let's draw this with a red line. Starting from the 4th or 5th repetition, we can see the oxygen uptake crosses the 90% mark for the first time, and then we can sustain it in the target zone for at least the following 5 till 6 minutes. So stay focused and keep pushing right now, you're right into the target zone. For more insight, you can analyze the effects of your 40-20 training sessions very effectively in your TrainingPeaks account. So let's take a look together. If you completed your training correctly, we should now be able to see that your heart rate, the parameter reflecting your oxygen uptake, as shown earlier in our graph, increases over the individual intervals. Let's take a closer look at this session. In the graph we can observe that the heart rate rises to 155 in the initial repetitions, then drops back to 150 or even 145. Then rises again to 157 and later even goes over 160 or end up with 168. A useful guideline for your analyze could be to calculate 90% of your maximum heart rate for your intervals. As an example, if your maximum heart rate is 180, then 90% of it would be 162. In your high-intensity training session, you should aim to maintain the heart rate around 162 beats per minute for as long as possible. So now a quick note on execution. Be cautious not to go all out as soon as the 40 seconds interval begin. Try to avoid generating a sharp peak in the first few seconds. Don't start too intense, your goal is to achieve at least 10 repetitions of it. So as we can see in the graphic here, just like explained in the beginning of the video, it's helpful to find a little steep hill where you can perform your intervals with less cars or people with dogs. Your goal is to complete your set while climbing, and the rest period of each set will be on the descent after the 10th repetition. Afterwards, refuel properly, turn around, then start the next set by climbing again. In systematic high-intensity training sessions like your 40-20 intervals, you are training your body in the realm of oxygen uptake. When doing right and finish your workout, you're boosting your signaling cascade for mitochondrial synthesis. This means your body is sending signals through the training to produce more mitochondria, the powerhouse of your cells. This enables you to utilize more oxygen and thus increase your VO2 max.
Okay guys, this was intense. So I burned a lot of carbohydrates, so keep in mind to refill your carb stores. I mean, even if it's Coke, it doesn't matter, just keep the carbs in. Maybe you got also some luck and have a cameraman with you that he can store your Coke, so if not, then go to the next gas station, buy you some carbohydrates and refill your stores.
So guys, what are you waiting for? Get on your bike and dive into those high-intensity training intervals. And if you're not quite sure how to go about it, feel free to download our Science Featuring Pro Bike Shop online training plan for your next ultra endurance distance adventure. So enjoy your 40-20 intervals and join us on our road to Biking Man.